a leader reimagining her nation's future.
This will be my first official visit to India as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. So looking forward to participating in the NDTV World Summit, where I will have the opportunity to engage with global leaders and thinkers.
Catch Sri Lankan Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya at the NDTV World Summit 2025, 17th to 18th October on the NDTV network.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. And now, Aditya Raj Kaul begins a new chapter at NDTV.
Actually, I'm taking off because the stories I cover don't sit still. To bring the world to India and to take India to the world, I need to be where action is.
Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
What does the youth of Bihar want in this election? I will dissect and explain.
When it comes to elections, I crunch numbers and tell you what others miss.
Bihar elections, the what, why and how.
I read Bihar politics like no one else.
For over 4 decades now, I have had a ringside view of some of India's biggest elections. This time, I will bring to you the twists and turns of Bihar elections.
Understand the real election dynamics in Bihar. With me on Bihar Battleground.
The ultimate battle for Bihar. NDTV unites the biggest voices, unmissable debates and data discourse. Battleground Bihar on NDTV 24/7.
कुछ नहीं बचेगा फ्लिपकार्ट बिग बैंग दिवाली
The Frontline.
Showcasing the NDTV 24/7 Prime Time, presented by Schneider Electric, Smart Home Solutions as studio partner.
It is that familiar season when rape politics takes over. Every time a horrific rape crime takes place in any part of the country, politics erupts and we are once again faced with two sides of the political spectrum pointing fingers at each other, indulging in whataboutery and blaming each other for the rape culture that this country has become known for. The truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, the victims are left fighting for justice while the politicians continue to blame each other. Is this really a country that is prepared to take a step forward and move beyond rape politics? Is the big question. Let me get you the top stories first at 8 p.m. 2 years after Hamas attack on Israel and near total devastation of Gaza, the last 20 surviving hostages finally handed back to Israel today. Trump is in Israel to oversee the fruits of his peace project, and now he's landed in Egypt. Supreme Court orders CBI probe in Vijay rally stampede case in Karur where 40 people died. TVK claims vindication, but it's a major setback to the Tamil Nadu state government under MK Stalin. Meanwhile, weeks before Bihar election, charges framed against Lalu Prasad Yadav in the IRCTC hotel scam. Lalu, his wife and son Tejasvi Yadav booked on charges of corruption, criminal conspiracy and cheating. It's my big focus coming up at 8:30 p.m. Meanwhile, Pakistan is imploding once again after violence on its western border with Afghanistan. Violent clashes have erupted by the Lashkar-e-Taiba in Murid Cave. These are one of the most violent protests that the city has seen for a very long time. And after Mamata Banerjee's "Why was she out at night?" comment on the gang rape survivor, Tamil netas have come up with victim shaming amidst politics over this horrific crime. And the big RSS showdown in Karnataka. Priyank Kharge writes to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah seeking a ban on RSS activities in public spaces. Chief Minister's son compares the RSS to the Taliban. Thanks very much for joining me once again on India Matters on Monday night. Victim shaming after a horrific rape crime has become a hallmark of one politician in this country because of the manner she always reacts every time there is a rape crime in her jurisdiction, and that is Mamata Banerjee. The horrifying rape crime in Durgapur is my big focus tonight. And the joker in the political pack, Lalu Prasad, against whom charges were framed in the latest corruption case against him, is my big focus at 8:30 because he continues to be the most recognized face from Bihar just weeks away from the election. So what is it about Lalu that still makes him a big player and a man to be reckoned with in the Bihar election? All of that and much more coming up on India Matters. Let's begin with our top story. You know what's incredible, viewer? Just a few days ago, India's self-styled liberal brigade was at war, rightly so, over a Taliban press conference in Delhi where women were incredibly not invited. Full outrage mode, long essays on gender apartheid, endless social media performances, and discount activism about their stand on Afghan women and how dare the Indian government allow the Taliban to do the same in Delhi. And yet the same self-styled champions of women's rights, and they were right about this, remember, the same loud voices of Nari Shakti, whether it was in parliament, whether it is in political parties, they've suddenly lost their tongues over Mamata Banerjee's disgusting comment on the Durgapur gang rape in Bengal. How was she out at 12:30 a.m.? That's what Bengal's chief minister asked about a woman, a student who was gang raped. Imagine that. And imagine the silence that followed. No fiery op-eds, no social media circus, no candlelight marches, because this time the villain wasn't the Taliban, it was one of their own, the ever-convenient friendly forces. Now, let's not pretend this is new, because Mamata Banerjee has a long and unbroken record of blaming the victim. Remember the Park Street case? She's the one who once said rape cases in Bengal were Sajana Ghotona, staged events. This isn't the first time she has asked why a victim was out late. That's not an error or even a misquote. It is Mamata Banerjee's worldview. A medieval, cruel and shockingly consistent worldview that Bengal's liberals have learned to politely ignore while peddling their cheap feminism. And yet these very people strut around with the flag of women's empowerment. The Trinamool so-called Mahila Shakti Brigade that lectures the entire country of what it is to be upholding of women power, that milks feminism for photo ops, is suddenly invisible. The activists who sermonize about patriarchy every time a man sneezes the wrong way, as they rightly should, are now pretending not to have heard their beloved Didi. This isn't fraud in the name of feminism. Mamata Banerjee's words expose the bitter truth about India's self-proclaimed warriors of women. Most of them, certainly the most visible, are soldiers of convenience. They only march when it is safe, only rage when it is fashionable. So yes, they can rage at the Taliban all they like, but let's be clear, you don't have to cross borders to find gender apartheid. You can find it right here, in Bengal, in other states. In this case, spoken by a woman chief minister, cheered in silence by her cowardly supporters. They're not Jhansi ki Ranis. They are costume feminists, and I say this without any doubt in my mind. Discount revolutionaries with zero honor, zero courage, and zero empathy. And their silence tonight is the loudest thing in India.
There is a private college. The matter nobody is supporting. You tell me when Odisha, before 3 weeks ago, 3 girls are raped in the sea beach. What action is being taken by the Odisha government? And Bengal, if anything happens on women, we don't allow anything to be considered as a casual case. It's a serious case we consider. And that girl, it's a shocking. She was studying in a private medical college. So all the private medical college, whose responsibility? How they came out in the night at 12:30. And it happens in the, so far I know, forest area. And 12:30, I do not know what happened. Investigation is on. I'm shocked to see the incident. But private medical colleges also is to take care. আপনাদের বলি দমদের মেয়াদ ফুটে আমি কিছু বলেছি আমার কথা ডিস্টার্ব করা হয়েছে প্লিজ আপনাদের একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব আমাকে আপনারা কোশ্চেন করবেন আর তারপরে ডিস্টার্ব করবেন আমি ভাত খাই সেটা না বলে আমি ভাত বলে দিচ্ছেন এইসব রাজনীতি আমার সাথে করার চেষ্টা করবেন না কারণ আমি আপনাদের সাথে মিট করি অনেকে মিটই করেন না কোশ্চেন তৈরি করে দিয়ে উত্তর দেয়
Let's debate tonight the facts first. Mamata Banerjee and her party have clarified that she's been misquoted and that's not what she meant. But you've heard word for word what she actually said. The accused have been arrested. The case is on. The investigation is on right now. But the father of the survivor, the gang rape survivor, has pointed a finger directly at Mamata Banerjee and wondered how can she even say such things. Priyanka Tibrewal of the BJP, Sophia Khan is a Trinamool supporter from Kolkata. Both of them joining us live tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Sophia Khan, to you first. This is a pattern with Mamata Banerjee where she instinctively questions the victim, the survivor, before saying pretty much anything else, whether it is the Park Street victim, whether it is multiple cases since that time. It seems that Mamata Banerjee's priority is always to shift the blame to the victim. In this case, asking what was she doing outside at 12:30? Sophia Khan.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to condemn the entire incident and have no words to express my pain, not only as a TMC supporter, but also as a woman. As far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, her words are twisted and deliberately distorted. And I express my grief that ye mere shehar ka rape, ye tere ka rape. So rape is a rape, and within 24 hours, I have heard that in 3 states where it is BJP ruled, 3 more girls were raped. So ultimately, within 4 days, 4 girls are raped.
Sophia, this is the kind of whataboutery warned against.
Coming to that.
This is the kind of whataboutery I'd warned against. We are talking about Bengal right now. Let's talk about Bengal.
We are only selectively talking about Bengal's rape, which is just a heinous.
No, I'm talking about Mamata Banerjee's comment. I'm not talking about the rape.
I'm shocked.
Rapes happen everywhere in the country. We know that.
This situation is politicized and used as a political weapon. So my heart is crying out that why only selective protest on Bengal's rape, where
why is Mamata Banerjee asking why the victim is out at 12:30, Sophia Khan?
This bill is not even considered by central government.
Why does Mamata Banerjee say why is the victim out at 12:30? Even that, by the way, is not correct. She was back on campus by 9:31 p.m.
No.
Why is she even asking that question?
Her words were distorted and twisted. She only, in her statement, she only advised the institution, private college, to be more careful with the students. Of course, they are students.
No. That wasn't.
That is not what she said. We've just played that out, madam.
And that is a jungle area, forest area. Look, see. We talk about women empowerment, but here
jungle area you allow them to make a college, but no security.
Small girls are raped even at their own home. So where we can only accuse the government. So we have to be more careful, and this is dilemma. I know this is irony of the situation that we have to be more careful.
What was victim doing outside college at 12:30 a.m. are the words of Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister. You cannot twist and turn around this, Sophia Khan. You're saying that she's been misquoted. I am not going to allow any whataboutery here because we're talking about a Chief Minister. We're talking about the Chief Minister of Bengal.
She never shows her back. she is facing press, and the press has been
Madam, the reason,
words
madam,
and statements
so,
and showing
madam,
it as a loophole.
Miss Khan, the reason why nobody is buying this argument is because this is not the first time that Mamata Banerjee has actually done it. She has a consistent track record of shifting blame onto the victim. You are absolutely right, ma'am. Rapes happen in BJP-ruled states, and we always call them out here on NDTV. There is no question of it. But how can someone like a Mamata Banerjee, who stands for upholding of values, claims to be superior to the BJP, claims to be on a higher pedestal than all her critics, how can she say something like this is the question? People are shocked.
Shivji, Mamata Banerjee is not only a chief minister of this state, but she is also a woman, elderly woman who has.
That's why it's shocking.
Who has no? This is not shocking. This is not at all shocking. This is not shocking.
Not at all shocking.
Just politicized, and used as a political weapon by people of Bhajpa and BJP. Even the women are selectively protesting. I would like to ask Ms. Tibrewal that whether she will protest for the 3 girls who has been raped within 24 hours in the BJP-ruled state. I would like to take the statement.
But we are talking about Bengal here. Your party, I'm sure, is protesting in those states, and we have covered them as well, Ms. Khan. This kind of whataboutery is very silly. This whataboutery is very silly.
Everywhere in the country.
Madam, if a BJP chief minister says, what is this victim doing outside at 12:30 a.m., I will give that chief minister hell. I will give that chief minister hell, madam. Every time BJP leaders and netas have said anything about rape, I can guarantee you, I have taken their class here on my show. Priyanka, answer the question. The Trinamool says you are politicizing a rape. You shouldn't be politicizing a rape because action has been taken and Mamata is being misquoted. Priyanka.
Right. Very good evening, Shiv. See, action speaks louder than words. That is the reason that Ms. Khan is, fumbling and blabbering, and whatever she's talking, she doesn't even make sense. Now, this kind of insensitive, unempathetic, unapologetic behavior of a chief minister is not visible for the first time. Like you correctly mentioned that when the Park Street rape case took place, she said it was a Sajanu Ghatna, a decorated incident. When Has Khali it happened, she said that the child had a love affair. So these kind of remarks, once it can be a slip of tongue, but when it comes every time, that too from a chief minister's mouth, that explains that what kind of mindset she's having. So now she's talking about, this kind of gender differences, that male can be inside the house or outside the house, but female, if outside the house, she means to say that it is imperative for her to get raped. Is this what we are waiting to hear from a chief minister? Rather than saying that those who are behind this crime, they will be given such a kind of punishment, which will set an example for future.
No, but also Ms. Khan, Sophia Khan, the father of the survivor, how will you... how will you handle the words of the father? Are you saying that the BJP has weaponized the father also, whose daughter has just been gang raped? He is speaking his own words. He is also pointing a finger and saying, don't defame my daughter.
Being a mother, I can completely understand his pain. And as he is not into politics, as he is someone from outside, so he have to wait for the proper investigation, proper report of the investigation, that actually what happened. What happened, he have to understand that.
The minister said the equal thing. She equally said that. Anybody coming from any other state, you have to take care that you don't go out in the night. Now, what kind of statement is that? And now also Ms. Khan, she said that he is from outside. What do you mean by outside and inside? Is West Bengal not a part of India? That means...
I just mean to say that he don't have full information regarding the incident. Ms. Tibrewal, please don't distort my statement.
This is what you mean.
I just said that he
One at a time.
He don't know anything about it. He was not present in West Bengal. Her father was not present in West Bengal, so he have to wait for the proper reports. What will be shown by the police, and the case is under investigation. 3 persons, including more 2 persons, are arrested, and let us wait for another 1 or 2 days for the proper report.
No, because all these sheikhs are one particular community. You don't have audacity to ask questions. They are from your community as well. That is why nothing was said about that. Nothing was mentioned about their names. Why only this one particular...
Stop making it a Hindu-Muslim. Please don't make it a Hindu-Muslim agenda just like...
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that for sure.
The Just don't make it a Hindu-Muslim thing.
Let me come in. Let me come in here. I don't want to get into that part at all. I am only concentrating
for your own benefit.
No.
What benefit? What benefit?
I am drawing a line here. I am not going to get into any of those communal angles at all. Not allowing that. Not permitting that. Please allow me to jump in here. Please allow me to jump in here. I want to say that today's debate is about Mamata Banerjee victim shaming. It is victim shaming, and she is wrong about that as well. She is also wrong about the fact, Sophia Khan. Even the fact that she is saying why was she out at 12:30 a.m. even that is wrong. We have a copy of the complaint here which shows that the victim, the survivor, was inside campus. That is not the point. But the Chief Minister, apart from saying something this terrible, is also wrong on the facts. She's been fact-checked by the father and by the college.
The Chief Minister lied. The girl went out at 8 o'clock, not at 12.
Which is not the point, but it definitely doesn't inspire any confidence if the Chief Minister is getting even those facts wrong, Sophia Khan.
14 month a toddler. She was dragged and raped in Tripura, which is ruled by BJP.
Oh my God!
I haven't heard a word of sympathy by Priyanka Tripura ji. Just please utter some words for her. Utter some words.
Madam, I can list out all the rape cases that have happened in the last week. Will the both of you condemn them equally? I don't understand how that matters to this point at hand.
Protest for rape. Please don't politicize the whole situation for your own benefit. For 2026 election, don't use it as an opportunity for yourself. The shame on the BJP.
The logic is
shame on you.
Mr. Shogoto, their MP, Mr. Shogoto Rai, he said that police can't be busy, surrounding these private colleges. My question is, Arjikar is a government college where the rape happened. Police was very well present inside the medical college. Then why did the rape happen? South Kolkata locked
all over India. There is only 2 incidents. One is Arjikar and one is this Durgapur case. And 82 cases every day. 82 cases registered in India. Every day 82 cases registered. Rape case registered in India. Who are those? Which state that happened?
In Uttar Pradesh. What is happening in West Bengal is the concern, because Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is the Chief Minister of West Bengal, not of Odisha, not of Uttar Pradesh. People of Bengal have voted for their security and safety to Mamata Banerjee. They did not vote for Yogi Adityanath. They did not.
That is why we are facing media, madam. That is why we are facing media. Our chief, my chief minister.
Okay. I'm out of time. The accused have all been arrested. We do not wish for any kind of politics, because as I always say, when it comes to rape politics, it is about my rape versus your rape ultimately. And the politics of this kind is extremely unsavory, and it basically means that there is even less space for the victims to actually expect justice. We'll keep a watch very closely on that story. A Delhi court has framed corruption, conspiracy and cheating charges against Lalu Prasad Yadav, his wife Rabri Devi and his son Tejaswi Yadav today in the IRCTC hotel scam case. Now, if that sounds a little obscure to you, don't worry. It is only the latest entry in a list of corruption cases that have defined Lalu Prasad's political legacy for decades now. Yet, even as he appeared in court sitting in a wheelchair, the truth is that Lalu remains Bihar's most recognizable face on the national stage. When most Indians think of Bihar, they still think of Lalu. Not Nitish Kumar, despite his long years in power, not Tejaswi, the high-profile inheritor, not Jaiprakash Narayan to the older generations, but Lalu, the rustic king of Patna, whose brand of politics continues to cast a long shadow over the state's destiny. Now, the IRCTC scam in the headlines today is just one in a litany of cases that have followed Lalu since the 1990s. From the fodder scam that first brought Lalu down to allegations of land for jobs during his time as railway minister, each time the accusations have been eerily similar. Public office used to enrich family, friends and party loyalists. Cows were bought on paper. Land was transferred in exchange for government jobs. Contracts were routed through cronies. A system of enrichment so audacious it became almost folklore. And yet, through it all, Lalu managed to build something that few Indian politicians have. A personality cult that survived the proof of corruption itself. Because long before he became the symbol of misgovernance, Lalu Prasad Yadav was actually the symbol of rebellion, and many generations now may not even remember that. When he rose to power in the late 1980s and early 90s, Bihar was dominated by the upper castes. Lalu's arrival was an earthquake. The son of a poor cowherd from Fulwaria village, he became chief minister at just 43 years, and for millions of backward caste voters, it felt like the arrival of long-delayed social justice. He turned his rustic accent and simple manner into political theatre. Journalists from Delhi came back with stories of Lalu cracking jokes about buffaloes and ministers, and of his infectious laugh echoing through one Anne Marg. He played the role of the shrewd simpleton perfectly, a man who pretended not to understand the game while actually mastering it completely from the inside. Now that performance, that character remains Lalu's greatest political invention. Even today, in the eyes of many, he's not the corrupt politician who hollowed out Bihar's institutions, but the lovable rogue who spoke truth to power and embarrassed the English-speaking elite. For an older generation of Biharis, Lalu remains nostalgia personified. For a younger generation that has fled the state of Bihar, seeking opportunities elsewhere, he remains the man who froze a once beautiful state in time. The irony is that even as Bihar crumbled under Lalu's reign, his family has obviously flourished. Rabri Devi, a political novice, was installed as chief minister when Lalu had to resign over the fodder scam. Today, Tejasvi Yadav carries his father's political torch and has himself been charged with corruption. It is a dynasty that grew in the shadow of illegality, yet continues to command the loyalty of millions. And that is what makes today's development both unsurprising and symbolic just before the Bihar election. 3 generations of one family charged in yet another corruption case, yet their political capital remains intact. Rahul Gandhi, who has spent years trying to define himself as a new kind of politician, is regularly seen embracing Lalu, calling him a guide, a mentor, even a father figure. This is the same Lalu who presided over Bihar's collapse, the same man convicted in the fodder scam, now facing trial once again. But in the arithmetic of the opposition, morality takes a backseat to the mathematics of survival. So tonight, as Lalu Prasad Yadav faces yet another courtroom reckoning, the story remains unchanged. The cases mount, the trials drag, the evidence piles up, yet Lalu Prasad Yadav endures. In his wheelchair, surrounded by his family, he remains the man who could bend the law to his advantage, the man who turned every accusation into an election speech. And perhaps that is Lalu's true legacy, a reminder that in Indian politics, charisma can outlast conviction and corruption can wear the mask of charm.
माननीय ममता बहन ने उस बात को जस्टिफाइड और क्लियर किया। इनके सिद्धांत पर असूल पर हम उंगली नहीं दिखा रहे हैं। ये बात सही नहीं है कि रेल मांगा गया था,
नहीं मांगा गया था
तो नहीं मांगा गया था तो नहीं मिलेगा अब कभी।
सुनिए लालू जी, आपको क्या चाहिए?
Everybody is appreciating कि I have done a tremendous work. Each and every year, I have earned crores and crores every day, and they are saying, Lalu Yadav has planted a fruit tree, and every year it is duty of mine to grow fruit tree. दीदी को मैं दीदी मानता हूँ, अनादर मत होना। मुझे एक शेर आता है आपको देख करके, मोहब्बत में तुम्हें आंसू बहाने नहीं आता, अरह के बनारस में पान खाने नहीं आता। अरे शेर कोई आपको कोई ढंग है आपको? मैं जोशी जी से पूछना चाहता हूँ कि मड़ुआ बोया जाता है कि रोपा जाता है? हमको मैं बता दीजिए उसको। कहीं मेरा भाई बैठे हैं नीतीश कुमार, लेकिन धर्म अधर्म की बारी आई है तो आज गद्दा चलाना पड़ रहा है तुम्हारे पीठ पर हम लोग को। चिंता मत कर।
तो कभी ब्रश यूज नहीं किया आपने?
करते हैं
कभी कभी। पटना में रहे तो यही करते हैं। दिल्ली में तो दिक्कत होती होगी।
वहाँ नहीं मिलता है।
वहाँ नहीं मिलता है।
दिल्ली तो इंडिया है ना।
अच्छा।
भारत है।
अच्छा,
भारत में मिलता है।
अच्छा, इंडिया में नहीं मिलता है। दिल्ली इंडिया हो गया।
इंडिया वो तो खखोरता है ब्रश से।
So that was just a glimpse of Lalu from the NDTV archives. But let's find out, looking ahead at the Bihar elections, about what effect today's framing of charges against him could possibly have or not have, as the case might be. Our excellent panel of experts are going to be with us through this amazing journey into the Bihar election. Ajit Kumar Jha, consulting editor with NDTV, Sanjeev Srivastav, senior journalist, Sujata Pandey, political analyst. Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for being with me. Ajit Kumar Jha, to you first. Does the framing of charges against Lalu and his family in this latest case, does it cast a shadow at all on the Bihar election?
Yes, I think it does. The timing of the case itself, 3 weeks right before the polls, number one. Number two, in fact, Mahagathbandhan was still sort of having a tough time with negotiations with its partners. It has been delayed. And in fact, just yesterday, the NDA finalized its seat sharing deal. So they end up getting advantage because, do remember, there's barely 3 weeks left for the campaign. So the NDA ends up getting an advantage here. And thirdly, the charges are criminal conspiracy, corruption, fraud, cheating. So, it puts sort of the whole image of Tejaswi Yadav, in this case, the chairman of the Mahagathbandhan and the possible CM candidate, he comes under a cloud, especially given the fact that people like Prashant Kishore, who are in the fray, are going to attack him, not only attack him all over Bihar, but in his constituency of Raghopur. So I think it does kind of sort of, dents his image. But of course, his supporters, the My Coalition and the other supporters of the Mahagathbandhan, they are going to argue that, well, it's a conspiracy by the NDA because of the timing right before the election. And look at the fact that Tejaswi just promised that if chosen, is going to frame a law whereby one person from each household will be given a government job. So the NDA is ensuring that, the government jobs are not provided to the youth. So they obviously will sort of make a different narrative. But I think on the whole, it puts the Mahagathbandhan and especially Tejaswi under enormous pressure.
It's interesting because when we speak of the denting of his image, this is only the latest in a litany of cases against him and his family. So one wonders, what real elbow room does this give his detractors or even his partners when it comes to negotiations? Sujata Pandey, what is your view on this? Just another corruption case against Lalu Prasad and family, not unprecedented by any stretch of imagination. The court appearances have become part and parcel of his political life itself. He has always explained them away, as Ajit Kumar Jha just said, as vendetta and punishment politics. How do you view the effects this could have on the election?
Shiv, there's so much of murmur on the political timing of this. Some people are saying it as a political vendetta. But my simple question is, if elections were an excuse to pause justice, the corrupt in this country will never see conviction, because we have elections every third month. Somewhere or some part of the country is always going for elections, or some sort of elections are always happening. That being one, then secondly, if you look at the effect of it, I think we are discussing too much on the help that NDA or perhaps Jan Suraj or Prashant Kishore's allegations will take. But I see that this is more for the Congress party, which were till now they had not announced Tejasvi as the CM candidate. Why do you think they were doing it? They're probably waiting for this moment, and this just now it will give Congress an extra hand, an extra stretch to demand the seats that they probably were not going to get earlier. Also, Male will now negotiate harder, where they will not getting the seat. The Sahani gang, everybody will come down pounding on the Tejasvi, because Tejasvi, if you see in the entire campaign, this and the previous ones also, he had removed Lalu from the entire campaign. He had projected himself as a new face of the RJD. The symbols were changed, the slogans were changed, the people were changed, and he was like, I am a changed RJD. But looks like that he may be young and he's changed, but looks like the system is still rotten and it's still spelling of the old scams coming out, because the tactics are same. Now people at Bihar will ask that, okay, you were saying that I stand for Dalit, I stand for the backwards, I stand for the downtrodden Yadavs, but when they demanded jobs, you asked for land from them. When the tenders were given, you asked land. So it looked like this was not about any Garibo ka Masiha, but it was like a business model which Lalu used, because court had made those observations too. If you look at the court, the court has clearly said that no, it happened in under your finger and your thumb. You were aware that tenders were changed and it was given to a particular party which was close to you. There was a Benami company being formed. And
yes, very specific words used by the court. You're right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So they're not small. And then, the entire plank of NDA and Nitish Kumar is about Sushashan against the Jungle Raj corruption of the Lalu Prasad Yadav. So
I'm only wondering, and it's important to also note, Sujata, you're right, it's also important to note that the framing of charges today is not just against Lalu, but also his wife Rabdi Devi and his son Tejasvi Yadav. So, these factors are there as well. Sanjeev Srivastav, how do you read this? Because, once again, the fact is that corruption Lalu hardly knew. He's fought elections successfully in the, with the stench of corruption around him, as it were, if I can use that word. So it's not shocking in that sense, but these interesting leverages that his partners may get, especially now that Tejasvi and Rahul are supposed to meet today. I don't know if they've met just yet. But how do you see this, Sanjeev?
So very good evening, Shiv, and thank you for having me. So I was watching with a lot of interest the montage which you played out before starting your debate on this. And if you also notice, most of the pictures or sound bites in the montage were some 15 years back, 20 years back, 25 years back. So what is the message one is getting? So if I may be allowed just one aside, for his initial years in public life, initial decade or so, Lalu charmed his constituency or wooed his constituency by playing the shepherd, by playing with his buffoonery or gaonwala types. And then for the next decade or so, he played the very smart one who turned railways around, and Howard inviting him or praising him. So, sometimes part of his political innings, he played the buffoon, and part of his political innings, he played the very wise guy. He's neither of the two, very honestly. He's a sharp politician. But what I meant to say was that he is, in all fairness and with all respect to him, he's past his prime. So the days of Lalu, as we know the days of Lalu, are well and truly over. Yes, there is still a very strong smattering of MY support base for him. After all, he is the real messiah of mandal politics in this country. The first one to give a voice to the dispossessed or underprivileged or the backwards, whatever you may, and also the Hindutva after stopping Advani's Rath Yatra. But he's past his prime. Tejasvi has not been able to really, the mantle has not been transferred fully. He's not a Lalu, let's face it. But this court case and today framing of charges, I think it will cancel itself out by his opponents already convinced of his corruption, by his supporters already convinced that there will be a witch hunt against him. Now it depends that if the framing of charges progresses into something more tangible, if there is a judgment also, and if something really happens, then I think the benefit will go to Lalu and company, because then there'll be a sympathy play.
No, I hear your point.
Talking point, But I don't think it will have much of an impact on the ground.
Very interesting, because the ground anyway, Ajit Kumar Jha, the ground anyway doesn't see Lalu as lily white. So, the framing of these charges not really casting a shadow in that sense is also maybe an argument to make. But I wanted to ask, since, all of this has been rounded up to being vendetta politics over the years by Lalu and his admirers and supporters and partners, Ajit Kumar Jha, I want to ask you, does he get to play victim this time? Does Tejasvi Yadav get to weaponize these cases against his father and the family in order to, do something and create a splash in this campaign? Is that even possible? Will there be recipients for that kind of thing?
Shiv, the best defense that Tejasvi Yadav can use during his campaign is, look, when the charges were framed between 2004 and 2014, I was a mere teenager, right? I mean, he's only 35 years old today. So he can always argue back that, whatever, I mean, he obviously won't sort of attack his parents. But the point is that he was a very, very young person at that moment. So he could actually turn around and use that during his campaign. But do remember, despite the enormous popularity of Mr. Lalu Prasad in Bihar, in fact, the RJD has been the single largest party from 1990 until today. But once the border scam started unfolding, RJD never won a single election in Bihar. 2000 was the last election that the RJD won. After that, they have lost, for the next 20 years, all subsequent elections. So I think that any kind of such charges as in this case does hurt overall. But at the same time, Tejasvi can play this argument that, look, my implication in a criminal conspiracy case when my father was railway minister, how am I a sort of a guilty party in this? And, since the details have not come out yet, what exact sort of cases are against Tejasvi is not very clear. So the opposition's attack, he can say, look, I am the Abhimanyu. The opposition is ganged up against me. I know how to enter the whatever arena. I don't know how to come out, right? So he can play the Abhimanyu card.
And also, the something that Sanjeev Srivastava said struck me, which is that that Tejasvi is not really the person who has taken the Lalu mantle. Sujata, the question is to you, which is that there is also this sense of a generational shift in Bihar politics. There are lots of relatively young Turks in the battlefield. There is Tejasvi, of course. There is Chirag Paswan. There are many others. There's Prashant Kishore. Is Bihar ready for that kind of a shift? Because Lalu's sort of presence is still very much felt in Bihar politics today.
Okay, so first of all, if Lalu's presence was felt, and not just as a legacy matters, why has Tejasvi Yadav removed his photos from most of his campaign, banners everywhere? You just see Tejasvi Yadav alone, no Lalu, no Rabri, nobody in the family. If there was anybody, they were also removed, in the recent news. So Tejasvi himself realizes that though Lalu gives him a legacy, he also gives a lot of accusation, charges, corruptions, Jungle Raj, all of that. The horrid memories of the Jungle Raj comes back when Lalu comes into picture. So that's why I say that Lalu was a thing of the past. Tejasvi was trying to build something new out of RJD. So, but then, with these accusations, what the biggest negative impact that the party has is on the fence sitters, people who are deciding कि क्या तेजस्वी को try करे, नौकरी देने की बात कर रहा है, क्या इसको नौकरी दे. So when corruption charges like this come in, and then the old memories of the corruption during the Jungle Raj also come in together, this dampens the charges, the chances for the Tejasvi Yadav. You spoke about being young. It's not just the leaders are young today. It's also the population of Bihar, which is young. It's the youngest state in India. Half of the population is young, and that is why the job is such a big issue right now, because most of it are looking for that sarkari job, not just the job, but the sarkari job, the government job, which gives them a lot of, the society is built like that. So when the corruption charges collide with it, I think, it dampens Tejaswi's not just his spirit but his chances of as emerging as someone who could lead the RJD with a new face, new party, new slogan, and new mission. Because people will say, oh, he's Lalu's son, he's also accused. So here you say, okay, some people said that he can play as Abhimanyu. Please understand that Abhimanyu was not the son of Kauravas. He was the son of Pandavas. So, and Lalu Prasad is not a Pandav. So, he has his share of things that is jungle, that people who have lived in during that time cannot forget. And one of the reasons that Tejaswi would find it very difficult is because he, apart from the MY combination, which is supposed to be his strongest bet, he has to add that extra Mahagathbandhan votes, the Dalit vote, the Pichhada vote, which will again be little reluctant to try to just.
All right. Thank you very much, Sujata Pandey, Sanjay Srivastav and Ajit Kumar Jha for joining us. I wanted to reflect NDTV's incredible resident voices who are going to be with us navigating the bumpy road to the Bihar election, helping us decode the very, very interesting characters. And in my view, still, I think there are very few characters more interesting than Lalu. But it's interesting how this could be the last big election in which he plays a really, really important and big role. Very, very interesting, and NDTV will be covering it super, super closely on the ground. And now I want you to meet NDTV's Bihar Brigade. This is the real election engine, viewer. You hear about election engines a lot, but this is the real deal because NDTV's incredible 37-year experience, a legacy of trust in election reporting, is going to deliver where it matters, where energy meets experience. We live and breathe elections, and that's why before we begin our special coverage on the run-up to November the 6th, which is the first day of polling. Your election destination is right here on NDTV. I want to introduce you to Padmaja Joshi, Ankit Tyagi, Prabhakar Kumar and Manoranjan Bharati, my esteemed colleagues who are all going to be on the front line of our incredible Bihar coverage. Padmaja, very quickly to you first. I'm going to give 30 seconds to all of you. To you first, Padmaja, what are you looking forward to most from the Bihar election? You're going to be there very soon.
I'm looking forward to see what kind of candidates are fielded by Asaduddin Owaisi. I want to see what are the seats that the Congress party is given in the MGB seat distribution. What kind of effect Prashant Kishore is going to have to actually find out if he's going to get any of the anti-incumbency vote. And finally, because last time around it was in the thick of COVID that I traveled, for a change, I look forward to having a normal election minus the mask and minus the constant fear of whether you're going to die in the middle of your coverage.
Prabhakar is the man leading Bihar coverage. He heads our Bihar team as well. Prabhakar, all locked and loaded. What can we look forward to from NDTV's incredible coverage of the Bihar election?
Yeah, this will be a very interesting election of a sort. And remember, this will be the last election for Lalu Prasad Yadav and also for Nitish Kumar. So we will look forward to having color on the ground. This would be an interesting election in terms of infighting between among the Lalu family members. You have Lalu's elder son actually floating a new party and fielding candidates against RJD itself. So it will be very interesting, very crisscrossing election, and it would have all the colors we want in the election coverage.
Very incredible. Manoranjan Bharati, who's one of the most veteran reporters on all things politics, is also with us. Manoranjan sir, क्या अलग होगा हमारे रिपोर्टिंग और कवरेज में बिहार इलेक्शन का?
बिहार इलेक्शन में सबसे पहले तो आपको बता दूं, पटना में है तो आपको पहले लिट्टी का स्वाद चखा देता हूं। पटना आइए आप भी, और हमारी ये जो वर्ल्ड फेमस है लिट्टी खाइए। साथ में जो ये इलेक्शन होगा, ये दो गठबंधन तो है ही साथ में, लेकिन इस इलेक्शन में एक नया प्लेयर भी है जिसका नाम प्रशांत किशोर है। उसको भी देखना पड़ेगा कि वो क्या करते हैं। ओवैसी भी ताल ठोक रहे हैं सीमांचल में, उसको भी देखना होगा। तो कुल मिलाकर ये दो एस्टेब्लिश गठबंधन कास्ट यहाँ से वहाँ कहाँ स्विंग करती है कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स, और साथ में एक नए इंट्रेंट की भी बातचीत जरूर करनी होगी।
And I can tell you that what Manoranjan ji has just shown us is only a small appetizer to what our coverage in Bihar is going to look like. A beautiful, colorful and cultural state with incredible food. You're going to get all of it on our political platter. Ankit has just come back from Bihar and he's headed back right after Diwali. Ankit, you had a fantastic time. You were on a bus, you were on a boat, you were in a college. What an amazing state to cover.
Well, absolutely, Shiv. I mean, as one of your panelists was saying, youngest state, about 1.7 crore voters of the total 4.72 are between the age of 18 to 29. Yeah. And that, I believe, is the X factor. Of course, there are politicians like Prashant Kishore and the Mahagathbandhan and the NDA. But this young voter, does the, old rhetoric, the mandal politics, does it still matter to the young voter? Or have they completely shifted? Because you are looking at a generation which has only seen Nitish Kumar as the chief minister. So it is going to be an interesting election, possibly the last of the mandal era heroes. Nitish Kumar, much diminished. Lalu Prasad Yadav only been spoken in folklore, and of course Ramvilas Paswan, who is no more. So this is the last of the heroes of the mandal politics, and new heroes are going to emerge in this election, Shiv.
It's no shortage of interesting characters, no shortage of masala, no shortage of intrigue, no shortage of suspense. It's going to be an election like no other, and it's the first one for me here at NDTV and for many of us as well, so it's going to be absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to actually see it. I hope I get to travel as well. All of you are going to be in Patna and the rest of Bihar. I hope I get some time to travel with you as well. Thank you very much, Manoranjan ji, Prabhakar, Padmaja and Ankit. All the very best. Battleground Bihar coverage is already on, and we will be, I promise you, getting you the most incredible coverage. Now remember, Bihar is a state that is drowned out by stereotypes in most people's minds. When you say Bihar, most people have one kind of an image. I'd like to leave you with just one little story. When I joined journalism as a cub reporter, one of the first assignments my boss gave to me was go to Bihar and spend a few days there. And I had no idea really why he meant go to Bihar, because I was supposed to cover defense. But I went there and it changed my life, and I promise you that NDTV's coverage will change your view, your thoughts, your perceptions of Bihar as well. Thanks for watching. Padmaja with the buck stops. Here's next.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
नहीं बचेगा। फ्लिपकार्ट बिग बैंग दिवाली।
वॉल्यूम कम करेंगे? आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
भाभी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी, ये आपके लिए।
मैंने कहा था कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
Pmac, the mustard specialist since 1933.
She's a ballerina who defies gravity, a quantum physicist who decodes the universe. At the NDTV World Summit, Merit More brings science and art together to show us how imagination can bend the boundaries of possibility. Catch ballerina and quantum physicist Merit More at the NDTV World Summit. Live and exclusive at the NDTV World Summit 2025, 17 to 18th October on the NDTV network. At a time of global uncertainty, When leaders balance risk with resolve, the most definitive leadership conversation unfolds in New Delhi. The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
The biggest musical sensation of the Middle East, Balkis Fatih, the Yemeni Arab star, redefining the rhythms of Arabia. This October, NDTV World Summit is her stage. Catch Balkis Fatih live at the NDTV World Summit. Unmissable, unmatched, unforgettable. October 17th and 18th, exclusive on the NDTV network. A global leader, defining India's moment in history, a voice shaping the future of a changing world.
हम दुनिया को भी बेहतर AI सॉल्यूशंस देने में जुटे हैं.
Catch Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the NDTV World Summit 2025, 17th and 18th October, on the NDTV network, bringing the world to India and India to the world.
वॉल्यूम कम करेंगे? आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में.
भाभी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी. ये आपके लिए.
मैंने कहा था कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में.
BMAC, the mustard specialist since 1933.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A story of change, a path to renewal, a leader reimagining her nation's future.
This will be my first official visit to India as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. So looking forward.
Did they just seal it with a kiss? The new power couple in town, a pop star and a politician. Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry, the new it couple. Their PDA leaving little to imagination, confirming the dating rumors. The pop star and former Canadian PM were seen kissing and cuddling on a yacht in California. In the new viral pictures, Perry can be seen wearing a black swimsuit while sharing a kiss with a shirtless Trudeau. The two were also photographed hugging, with Trudeau appearing to kiss Perry. The pair were first seen together in July this year, during a dinner date in Montreal, after which Trudeau was also seen attending Katy Perry's sold-out Lifetimes tour stop in Canada. Katy Perry's personal life has also been in the spotlight recently. The singer ended her engagement with actor Orlando Bloom in June 2025 after 7 years together and 6 years of being engaged. The two continue to co-parent their daughter. Justin Trudeau announced his separation from his wife, Sophie Trudeau, in August 2023 after 18 years of marriage. The former couple shared 3 children together. In 2023, Katy Perry sang I Kissed a Girl. In 2025, Trudeau seems to have given it a new meaning. And we're not complaining. Bring out the fireworks. NDTV Bureau Report.
And coming up next, rape politics once again on Mamata Banerjee. And it once again is so familiar. The topic this time once again is victim shaming. An entire brigade is out in Mamata Banerjee's defense, except that one after the other, leader after leader from the Trinamool Congress, the party that rules Bengal, is out pointing a finger not at law enforcement, not at the perpetrators, but the victim. It's become a pattern after any rape crime that takes place in Bengal. So are you really surprised by the politics that's taken over the story? Not to mention the incredible hypocrisy of those who claim to stand for women power. The buck stops here with Padmaja's next.
वॉल्यूम कम करेंगे? आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
भाभी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी, ये आपके लिए।
मैंने कहा था कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
BMAC, the mustard specialist since 1933.
What does the youth of Bihar want in this election? I will dissect and explain.
When it comes to elections, I crunch numbers and tell you what others miss.
Bihar elections, the what, why and how.
I read Bihar politics like no one else.
For over 4 decades now, I have had a ringside view of some of India's biggest elections. This time, I will bring to you the twists and turns of Bihar elections.
Understand the real election dynamics in Bihar. With me on Bihar Battleground.
The ultimate battle for Bihar. NDTV unites the biggest voices, unmissable debates and data discourse. Battleground Bihar on NDTV 24/7.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है। सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखे? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं। लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं। एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
What does the youth of Bihar want in this election? I will dissect and explain.
When it comes to elections, I crunch numbers and tell you what others miss.
Bihar elections, the what, why and how.
I read Bihar politics like no one else.
For over 4 decades now, I have had a ringside view of some of India's biggest elections. This time, I will bring to you the twists and turns of Bihar elections.
Understand the real election dynamics in Bihar. With me on Bihar Battleground.
The ultimate battle for Bihar. NDTV unites the biggest voices, unmissable debates and data discourse. Battleground Bihar on NDTV 24/7.
The best app to use is the NDTV app.
दुनिया भर में जब भी भारतीय मीडिया की चर्चा होती तो एनडीटीवी सबसे पहले जिक्र में आता है।
बात से सहमत हूं कि हम भी जब विदेश जाते हैं, द बेस्ट ऐप टू यूज इज द एनडीटीवी ऐप।
When it comes to elections, I am a journalist, analyst, commentator, and an advisor.
My point of view is not for the faint-hearted.
Nothing escapes my eyes. Not the leaders, not their agendas, not even the real game of elections.
हम सबको खबर देते हैं, हम सबकी खबर लेते हैं, चुनावों की भी, दावों की भी। बिहार की सोच, बिहार का फैसला।
पत्रकारिता का जो पहलू दिखता नहीं, वो हम दिखाते हैं।
Showcasing the NDTV 24/7 Prime Time, presented by Schneider Electric, Smart Home Solutions as studio partner.
Good evening and welcome. Thanks for tuning in to NDTV 24/7. I'm Padmaja Joshi, and on every story that matters, the buck stops here. Over the last few days, two very different events have sparked very different reactions, both linked by one common thread: how we talk about women and who to talk for them. Tonight, we'll look at what happened in both of these cases, how people reacted, what the silence in between really tells us. How much hypocrisy is too much hypocrisy? The answer to that, unfortunately, that in politics, it's limitless. There are literally no boundaries. And to understand why I say that, you just have to see what has happened over the last 3 days. On Friday, when no female journalists were present at a press conference held by the acting foreign minister of Afghanistan in Delhi, it drew rightful outrage from across the country, especially from our political parties. Leaders in our opposition flayed the Modi government for belying its own slogan of Nari Shakti. They lamented how women had been rendered invisible and demanded that immediate reparations be made. But on the very same day, in another part of our country, a young woman was brutalized. A 23-year-old medical student was gang raped in West Bengal's Durgapur, and hours later, even as arrests were being made in the case, the Chief Minister of West Bengal spoke. And what did she say? The Chief Minister of West Bengal asked a young girl who had been gang raped in her state, "Why were you out at night at 30?"
She was studying in a private medical college. So all the private medical college, whose responsibility? How they came out in the night at 12:30? And it happens in the, so far I know, forest area. And 12:30, I do not know what happened. Investigation is on. I'm shocked to see the incident. But private medical colleges also is to take care their students, and especially the girl child at night time. They should not be allowed to come out in the outside. They have to protect themselves also. There is a forest area.
How did she come out at night at 12:30? Private medical colleges should take care. Girls shouldn't be allowed out at night. They have to protect themselves. This was the Chief Minister of West Bengal within 24 hours of a heinous crime being reported from her state. Gently asking the victim, "Are you sure this isn't partially your fault as well?" Realizing the blowback, subsequently the Trinamool Congress did try to attempt some damage control. They said the familiar things, that her statement has been taken out of context, that Didi has been misquoted, that this is a giant conspiracy by the BJP and of course the Godi media. And just when they thought that it had worked, along came Shougata Roy.
बंगाल में बहुत कम होता है। बंगाल में महिलाएं का सुरक्षा दूसरा प्रांत से अच्छा है। आरजीकर कितने 1 साल हो गया आरजीकर का घटना, और एक ठो घटना हुआ, दोनों ही दुर्भाग्यजनक है, इसको बंद होना चाहिए। लेकिन महिलाओं को भी अपना कॉलेज से इतना रात में निकलना नहीं चाहिए। थोड़ा पुलिस तो हर जगह पहरा नहीं दे सकता है, तो इसको थोड़ा सावधान होना चाहिए लोगों को।
So Mamata Banerjee and Shiv Aroor said what they had to. But what was truly stunning was the manner in which the same people who had fulminated at the absence of women in a press conference had absolutely nothing to say about a chief minister, about a member of parliament advising women to stay inside after work, to not go out after dark. Not one word, leave alone a condemnation. Some hemmed and hawed. Others lamented the decline of society at large, and yet others blamed it on the mahal which has been created in the entire country and the kind of words that are said about women on social media.
ये पूरे देश में जहां भी महिलाओं के साथ इस तरह का अत्याचार होता हो, वो यूपी हो, बंगाल हो, बिहार हो, कहीं भी हो, मुझे लगता है इन सवालों का जवाब समाज और सरकारों को मिलकर देना पड़ेगा कि आज 21वीं शताब्दी में भी महिलाएं सुरक्षित क्यों नहीं है। और पिछले 10-11 साल में जो माहौल इस देश में बना है, आप सोशल मीडिया पे वो माहौल देखिए, सड़क पर वो माहौल देखिए, किस तरह से महिलाओं को अपमानित करने की चेष्टा की जाती है, किस तरह से बलात्कारियों के पक्ष में जम्मू में जुलूस निकाला गया भारतीय जनता पार्टी द्वारा। तो ये माहौल कैसे बनता है, यह भी देखना बहुत आवश्यक है।
देखिए, बहुत दुखद है, लेकिन केवल एक बंगाल के अंदर ही घटनाएं नहीं हो रही हैं, पूरे देश के अंदर हो रही हैं। कल ट्रिपल मर्डर उत्तर प्रदेश में भी हुआ है। तो ये तो बहुत अलग विषय है, इसको केवल एक राज्य के साथ जोड़कर नहीं देखा जा सकता।
And that brings us to the big question on which the buck stops here. Between the Afghan press conference and the rape and shaming of a woman in West Bengal, is the feminist outrage to be expressed, but only with caveats? Is it really the issue of women, their dignity, their freedom, their visibility that is the concern of our political parties? Or is that applicable only to those who are not politically inconvenient? You want to speak up, you want to condemn, but not when it involves your friends, does it? Tourin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us along with senior journalist Harshvardhan Tripathi, Tausif Ahmed Khan, Anirban Banerjee and Advocate Nikhil Jain, all political analysts. But I want to start with you, Advocate Nikhil Jain, because I was counting about the Afghan press conference. We had a tweet coming from the Congress party. We had Rahul Gandhi himself. We had about 8 to 10 MPs that I have counted of the Congress party, numerous spokespersons and leaders who have tweeted, who have given statements. Why is there not a word on West Bengal?
Padmaja, first of all, let me start out by saying that what Chief Minister said, I'm not saying that she's engaging in any sort of victim blaming or victim shaming. As the Chief Minister of the state, law and order is her responsibility. If something this unfortunate happens in her state, the buck stops with her. But it is also her responsibility to look at the causes for this. And while talking about it, she mentioned one of the potential causes. But that doesn't take away from the fact that when a leader of that stature says that, it is not a good message to women.
What is the potential cause?
It is a message to women that you should probably stay in your hostels, you should probably stay in your houses post dark. It is curtailment of a woman's agency. I do not agree with it. I condemn it. That being said, to answer your question.
No, but is it victim shaming or not? Let's be absolutely clear on that.
The incident of Taliban holding a press conference.
Is that victim shaming or not?
I feel it can very well be such. Be that as it may, I strongly believe the statement was wrong, shouldn't have been made. As simple as that. The statement is wrong, should not have been made by a chief minister. I will not try to mince my words saying that.
Okay,
that being said, there's a
I'm
difference
really happy
between
you
what
said
happened
that.
with the Taliban.
Now, why
press
can't we
conference
have
and what
the
has happened
Congress
here?
party or its leadership say that?
I'll tell you why. Because Taliban press conference about that is an action that was the Indian government allowing Taliban to hold a press conference in India, a press conference where the Taliban is dictating that women in India, women reporters like you cannot go and ask them questions which they should have been allowed. It is a major folly of the Indian government, and also the kind of message that is being sent across the world that Indian government is willing to pander to the Taliban to such an extent. What Mamata Banerjee has said, of course it's a wrong statement, shouldn't have been made, but you cannot be expecting condemnations on every single statement made by a political leader, by all of their alliance members. That is not how it works, and very sorry.
Why? When something
I don't like
is
to
so
engage in what about
fundamentally
me,
wrong, isn't it incumbent on
viewers.
one of the primary faces of our opposition to condemn it? You condemn something that a foreign government is doing in their embassy, which technically is their soil, but you cannot bring yourself to speak up about what the chief minister of an Indian state is saying. Why?
Let me make it very clear that we still not have embassy level relations with the Taliban, and therefore the embassy is not embassy or foreign, it's not technically foreign soil yet. The Indian government could have very well told the Taliban
Nikhil
that
Jain, you are constantly deflecting what I'm saying. I'm asking you a very simple question. Why hasn't Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and the Congress party said one word about the chief minister of an Indian state victim shaming a woman who has been gang raped? Why?
And I am giving you a very, very clear answer that there are many, many instances like this in this country, unfortunately, where political leaders make statements that come out as misogynist, and you can't expect every single political leader or leader of opposition to issue a condemnation for it. And if indeed you are holding Rahul Gandhi in the dock for not issuing a condemnation for it, then I hope you will also hold Prime Minister Narendra Modi